Welcome to this next episode of the CTQ Smart Levers. Today we want to talk about the concept of fundamental attribution error. So, what is this all about, Ramanand?
But before that, Harish, I have a complaint. You said you would send us some material that could help us plan this Smart Lever episode recording, but I got it very late, so I'm a little disappointed.
Yeah, yesterday there was an outage. There was no internet for some time, so I couldn't send it in time.
Oh, okay, I see. When this happened, there was this moment where I said, "What happened to Harish? He's become so no, undependable. There are always these moments I expect something and I don't get it." So I was a little disappointed. But this explains what happened, and this also explains the fundamental attribution error because I was quick to jumping to a conclusion that you are not a so dependable person and you often do these kinds of activities. What I should be blaming is your network provider or your infrastructure provider. So the fundamental attribution error says that we often blame individuals for certain behaviors and certain actions instead of considering the fact that it could be something else in their environment, other people or other parts to the environment that they operate in, which could be the cause for certain behaviors.
Now I understand what the fundamental attribution error is. And another example of that could be something that we often talk about, that people get labeled as filthy, that they are not keeping things clean in one country, but when they go to another country, they're putting the trash in the trash can. And what has changed is essentially the environment that has changed around them. Is that an example of fundamental attribution error?
That's a very good example. And you can see that these are different systems at play. The same person can behave differently in different systems. And therefore, we shouldn't be quick to blame only individuals. It's the complete package of the context, the incentives, the behaviors of other people that we should also keep in mind.
How have we used the concept in our work in both CTQ compounds as well as in the corporate settings, if you can talk about that?
One characteristic to our work is that most of it is opt-in. A lot of people want to participate and they want to think about their future. But then what happens is when you organize, let's say, an intervention or you create a compound batch, you sometimes see certain people not carrying out that expected behavior. So another example could be we've organized virtual event and people are fairly shy and not ready to engage. So it's very easy for us to end up labeling them as people who are not interested in thinking deliberately about their future or people who are not interested in upleveling. So that's the first reaction that might come to you, very intuitive, very emotional reaction, because we might not be like that. We might be all engaged and all enthusiastic about something like this were we in their shoes. So what the fundamental attribution error tells us is to slow down and understand the situation better. Maybe something is going on around them. Maybe they're in the middle of a release cycle. This is not the best time and they're distracted. Maybe something is going on in their personal lives. They could just have a child in front of them that they're trying to keep outside the camera. So there are so many different aspects that could be at play. It is more for us as designers, as someone who's facilitating conversations, all these different situations. It acts as a sobering sort of a note to ensure that we have not jumped to any conclusion. So whenever we try and understand a situation or debug a situation, the fundamental attribution error often is something that we try and keep in mind, so that when we try and address a gap, when we try and improve an intervention, we have taken many factors into mind and not try to label people or segment people as someone who's not doing a desired behavior.
Right. So hold your horses before you make that jump.
Absolutely.
So, what are people missing out on because they don't know about the fundamental attribution error, or they don't use this in decision making or thinking about people and the situation?
We just make the wrong kinds of decisions when we come to the wrong kinds of conclusions. Let me take an example that is, in some sense, the converse of the fundamental attribution error, which is that we attribute to people certain things that they don't deserve to be given. The halo effect is a good example of a bias where we think that someone should be given the credit for impact when it was actually not just them. So it's not just in a negative sense. You can also use the fundamental attribution error to think away from giving all the credit to one person. So this is an example of how you could come up with the wrong conclusion. You could label people. You could decide an intervention is not working because of the people involved in it, rather than saying maybe this is a design problem, maybe this is an environmental problem. So if I have an event where I have got people together to connect and to learn more about each other, and they're not really opening up, it could just be because they're new to us, they don't understand us very well, they need some warming up, or maybe they're just confused as to what is this person asking when there is a prompt. So can I make it easier for them to join the conversation? Can I use a concept like social proof to say that there are people who I know who are very enthusiastic, get them started, and then the rest will slowly join. So don't label people as these people are not interested in building their future relevance. Just put them in the right environment. Future relevance will just grow just like magic.
I think one example or one situation that I've seen a lot is people are wrongly classified as those with growth mindset and those with fixed mindset. So those who get classified as ones with fixed mindset probably have some constraints, something which is limiting them, which we need to at least consider first before labeling them as, oh no, these are fixed mindset, these cannot change, right?
Absolutely, that's a great example. So sometimes the right seed in the wrong soil will just not flourish. However much you put water and expose it to sunlight, I think you've hit the nail on the head.
And final question, Raman, why is it such an important part of the Uplevelers tool?
So any upleveling journey is going to run into dead ends. It's going to need a lot of picking up, getting up, and restarting. Also, to build a very strong upleveling journey, you need allies. You need other people that will help you in your journey. So it's rarely a solo effort. So in all these situations, we are dealing with people. It could be you, it could be other people. And when we use the fundamental attribution errors to understand the situation better, I think we will have better mentors, better allies, better people that we work with. And when we're trying to create change in others as well, we understand that the environment is a huge role. It's not just the people. So in your upleveling journey, understanding this error will ensure that you are able to pick yourselves up and not admit defeat too early, and make the right kind of interventions when needed.
So you mean to say that everyone who's watching this and has not signed up for any of our products, I should hold my horses and not label them anything?
And you should try different ways of putting them in the right environment.
All right, I'll do that. Thanks a lot, Ramanand, for this.